The Best of the Boro podcast from BBC Tees.
Boro announced here their sixth signing of the summer when Estonian winger Tarmo Kink joined from the Hungarian side Győr. Football journalist Arfad Sozi is an expert on Hungarian football. I caught up with Arfad earlier and asked him about the latest player to sign for Gordon Strachan.
Well, he was a huge find for the team Rabe Eto Győr, which is in the northwestern part of the country of Hungary. And he was brought in as one of their foreign players. He's Estonian, and he made a huge impact right away in the league, in the Hungarian First Division, and he turned out to be the goal-scoring king for his team, and he was in the top 10 goal scorers in the entire country. He got 12 goals last year, and I remember seeing him probably in his fifth or sixth game, and I thought to myself, what a find. And it's just going to be a matter of time before some team, be it from Germany or Spain or maybe even England, is going to whisk him away, and sure enough, the offers already started pouring in several months ago.
You say you've seen him play. What type of player, what style of player might the Middlesbrough fans expect to see when he pulls on the red shirt of Middlesbrough next season? Super
fast, very dangerous in the box, on set plays too. He's $1.83 and which is probably about 6'3" in your terms, and or 6'1" rather in your terms, and very aggressive and lots of skill. Beautiful touch on the ball and deadly, like I said, in the penalty area. So a lot of work for any defender who has to face him.
Would you say he's a naturally talented wide player?
He can also go wide. In fact, he loves switching wings, and he just torments them because he has energy without bounds, I would say. He's one of those players, one of those tanks on the field where you just wonder, he's just going to wear them down, and he does. By the second half, he usually gets on the scoreboard.
When you look at his goal-scoring record, Arpad, it was quite remarkable, really, because his first full season, 12 goals from 28 matches. That's not a bad return, is it?
Very good, considering he has to acclimatize himself to the team. The team also has a very, very tough coach, Attila Pinter, who's a former Hungarian international. He was a defender on the Hungarian national team back in the late 80s, early 90s. And he knows what he wants from his players, and that's 110%. And so he's got very much a Western mentality, and he pushes them to their utmost limits, and he expects a lot from them. And woe to any player who doesn't do exactly what he says on the field.
How popular was Tarmo with the Győr supporters?
Well, they love Tarmo. The soccer fans loved him because he did everything that they needed. They needed a goal-scoring tank. They needed to get Győr back up into the top three of Hungary, which they succeeded in doing. And in fact, a lot of people are now saying that thanks to him and a few other very good buys, new players, it looks like Győr may very well have the inside track for winning the championship in this new upcoming season. In fact, the Hungarian season just kicks off on Friday, so the Győr supporters are going to be a little bit disappointed that Tarmo Kink is no longer going to be there, but there's a lot to look forward to for Middlesbrough supporters.
Although Győr are obviously disappointed to lose Tarmo, in many respects this is a good deal for both sides. Győr will obviously receive money from Middlesbrough for the deal, and Boro get a player who could help them hopefully towards promotion next season.
Absolutely, and I must say Győr did this very intelligently, because they made sure that they had a couple of very good new signings. Bugera is one of them. He's a Frenchman of Algerian descent. He's also a tank as a center forward. He just destroys the defenses out there. I've seen him in a couple of exhibition games. He's a wonderful new buy, so they can replace Kink with him, and they have got a few other good backups too. Alexidze, a Georgian player, he's fantastic also. Basically, the €1 million that Győr gets from Middlesbrough for this is a huge amount of money. It's the equivalent of getting about £2.5 million in England. That's the way that money would work there. And with that kind of money, Győr can do an awful lot. Again, they, with their Western attitude and their Western training methods and their investments and the scouting, they'll put that money to very good use.
Well, what difference might Tarmo find in terms of the level of support? Because at the Riverside Stadium, a capacity for the Riverside Stadium would be 35,000 fans. Last season, Middlesbrough averaged in the Championship about 19,000 supporters, compared to the level of support that he's been playing in front of in Hungary.
Well, a good crowd in Hungary is 6,000 to 7,000. Of course, you can get some big games attracting 12,000 to 15,000, but generally 6,000 to 7,000 is what Győr could count on if they had a big game. And so this is going to be a revelation situation for Kink when he plays for Middlesbrough at home and away, wherever it's going to be in the championship. But let's put it this way: every Hungarian player, or any player in Europe, they watch the Premier League, they watch the championship games on television. They know what to expect. They know that it's not unusual to play in front of packed houses of 30,000 to upwards of 50,000, and they're prepared for that, and they look forward to it. I mean, there's nothing like having the crowd spurring you on even more. I mean, let's face it, 30,000 voices is a lot louder than 6,000.
Sure. And what difference in terms of the standard of football might Tarmo find from playing in Hungary to playing in the Championship in England?
Well, the Championship in England is faster and it's more physical. There's no doubt about that. But it's very clear for him, too. And, I mean, he did go out for a tryout. I think he was at Middlesbrough for almost a week. I mean, they put him through the paces, and he came through. They wanted him, and then they signed him. So, obviously, he's risen to the challenge. And don't forget, there's other players from Hungary have also done well recently, thank goodness, because the Hungarian national team desperately needs some good players. Kink not being eligible, of course, for the Hungarian national team, he's Estonian. But, for example, if I look at Fulham's Zoltán Gera, he's probably the best player that's ever come out of the Hungarian league so far in the last 10 years, and he has certainly changed the look of Fulham and helped them very much get to that Europa Cup final that they unfortunately lost 2-0 to, but in any case, he was a big signing. So players do rise to the challenge. They if the bar is raised, it is a great incentive for them to meet that challenge. And I think Kink is going to be one of them. I think he's a natural.
And you think, just in conclusion, then, Arpad, that the Middlesbrough fans are going to enjoy watching Tarmo play for Boro?
Yes, lots of skill. They'll love that. It'll be like having a Brazilian there, but he's got the resourcefulness of an English player or a German player. That's the way I would describe him. The touch of a Brazilian and the energy of an England player. And I think you put that two together and give him a few games to get warmed up and get used to the system. And perhaps by the second month there, I think they're going to just love him and he'll be a starter.
The Best of the Borough podcast from BBC Tees.